Hello, we wanted to share our paper, Slowing Down or Adapting to Technological Progress. Robot Replacement Risks and Policy Preferences, recently published in Regulation and Governance. This study aims to reconcile the results and contribute to the literature by exploring the specific conditions under which citizens prefer government interventions to reduce automation risk and their preferences for specific policy options. Technological changes in the form of automation have been widespread in workplaces. The use of robots represents the most thriving form of such trend. Meanwhile, the associated job loss has raised growing concerns about the negative consequences. Some studies reveal that automation has led to a decline in the relative demand for routine occupations. Approximately 60% of the jobs in 46 major economies can be automated for at least 30% of their work activities. This feedback loop between policy and public preference is significant even in non-liberal democratic societies. Investigating public preferences for government interventions against automation risk is especially meaningful. On the one hand, the experience of negative shocks often prompts individuals to seek social protection. On the other hand, public opinions can create popular pressure for policy agendas, thereby exerting indirect influences on policy implementation. After reviewing the literature, we found that most of studies focus on public preferences for policies addressing automation risk, such as income redistribution, universal basic income, and upskilling programs. Despite the valuable insights, the existing literature often yields inconsistent results regarding the relationship between automation risk and policy preferences. We first discuss individuals' distinctive preferences for these policies, and then distinguish between two types of workplace environments where robot replacement may occur: regular and dangerous workplaces. Following previous studies, we categorize policies that can be employed to mitigate automation replacement risks into social compensation, social investment, taxation, and regulatory policies. These four types of policies mainly differ in terms of policy instruments and target groups, shown as this table. Due to the prevalent techno-optimism in the country, Chinese people tend to be sensitive to measures that restrict paces of technological progress. Thus, robot taxes and quotas in China are unpopular. Chinese people may prefer social investment rather compensation due to their high trust in government. High political trust can mitigate the perceived uncertainties brought by social investment. Moreover, Chinese people preferences for social investment can also be shaped by welfare residualism in the country. Automation replacement can occur in different workplace scenarios, including regular and dangerous environments. We contend that although automation puts workers with routine tasks at a higher risk of labor replacement, the perceived deservingness of the replaced workers may vary across different workplaces. First, in terms of neediness, the dangerous working environment makes workers more vulnerable to work-related injuries and occupational diseases. Second, in terms of reciprocity, replaced workers in dangerous workplaces are often perceived to have made a greater contribution to society by taking on dangerous jobs that are avoided by ordinary people. As the main beneficiary population of government interventions against automation threats, replaced workers in dangerous workplaces are more likely to evoke citizens' sympathy and to be perceived as deserving. Therefore, we hypothesize individuals are more likely to express support for social investment when robots displace workers in dangerous workplaces than regular workplaces. We designed a scenario-based vignette survey experiment. The vignette presented scenarios in which cleaning robots replace human workers in different workplace environments. This vignette design allowed us to examine the impacts of two types of automation risk on respondents' support for different policy approaches. We conducted empirical investigations in the context of robot replacement in China. First, China has emerged as a leading hub for robot installation. Second, the Chinese government has expressed its keen support for robotization and directly regulates industrial development by setting targets. Third, China's welfare system bears a clear mark of the East Asian developmental model, which may lead to distinct individuals' expectations and choices of government intervention measures when addressing automation risks. The data come from the Beijing Area Study Online Panel, which was outsourced to a panel, a professional survey company. The experiment was carried out from November to December 2021. Only Beijing residents aged between 18 and 59 were invited to join. The final sample consisted of 997 observations. The dependent variable is policy preference. The question reads, if robot replacement happens increasingly, more and more workers will lose their jobs. Are you in favor of war against the government taking the following measures? The four policies included robot quota, robot tax, training, and unemployment benefits. The response options followed a 5-point descending scale: strongly agree, agree, neither agree nor disagree, disagree, and strongly disagree. The control variables include gender, age, education, household registration status, occupational sector, income, marital status, party membership, political trust. We first examined whether the average level of policy preferences in the treatment groups statistically differed from those in the control group by one way or another. These results combine to suggest that automation risk in different workplaces may influence respondents' preferences for training programs. The results of the linear regression for four dependent variables are presented in Figure 2. The coefficients of the routine workplace treatment were not significantly associated with respondents' preferences for all four policies. Dangerous workplace treatment does strongly predict policy preferences for training programs. The interaction terms of the routine and dangerous treatments on policy preferences is insignificant. To extend our argument, we further conducted subgroup analyses by occupation status and educational attainment to examine how our treatment effects vary across different respondent groups. We found a stronger positive effect of the dangerous workplace treatment for respondents with routine jobs. Our treatment effects are more pronounced among respondents with high education background. The widespread technological changes in workplaces have intensified the concerns about their unintended consequences in the labor market, with job displacement being a critical issue. This study explores the relationship between different types of automation risk and individuals' preferences for various policy options. Through a survey experiment in China, we find Chinese people support government efforts only when they perceive that the beneficiary groups deserve social protection and that the adopted policies can balance technological progress and unemployment risk. On the one hand, respondents prefer government intervention to address automation risk in dangerous workplaces compared to regular workplaces. On the other hand, respondents express stronger support for training programs rather than robot quotas, robot taxes, or unemployment benefits. We do acknowledge the caveats that must be drawn from this study. First, the Chinese society is distinctive with its techno-optimism and high trust in government. Second, strong social control and the dominance of state-owned media allow the state to manage official narratives to shape public opinions. Third, the generalizability of results derived from this Beijing-based experiment to other regions of China needs to be tested through more empirical efforts. As a result, we encourage more studies using similar experimental design to replicate our results to other parts of China and foreign societies. This study contributes to the literature in three ways. First, we go beyond the limited focus on social policy preference in the literature and categorize diverse policy approaches that can mitigate automation risk. Chinese individuals tend to support social investment rather than social compensation, which is different from Europe. Robot taxes and quotas do not appear to be appealing to Chinese people, possibly owing to their negative impact on economic efficiency and innovation. Second, breaking down the automation risk into more specific subtypes allows a nuanced understanding of people's policy response to automation risk. Third, the characteristics and social images of replaced workers, such as their perceived deservingness, should be given greater attention. Thanks for listening. This video is generated by AI dubbing, and they have replaced our jobs.